Hello and welcome to Bread of Life, a daily devotional program which each week features a different area pastor. Our speaker for this week is Elder Bill Ewen of New Haven.
This week we are continuing with a study of Ecclesiastes chapter 4, authored by King Solomon of Israel. I submit to you that we are seeing in this book the sad saga of a man being pulled in two different directions, wine or wisdom. How did Solomon respond? A key verse to understand his response is found in Ecclesiastes 2 and verse 3. I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting myself with wisdom. Solomon's choice reflects the biblical truth found in Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. Solomon chose to give himself to wine, but only to acquaint himself with wisdom. To give yourself to something means to surrender yourself. Remember that in the New Testament, church elders are admonished in 1 Timothy 3 to be not given unto wine. That doesn't mean that one has to be a teetotaler, see 1 Timothy 5:23, but it clearly does mean that strong drink ought not to have control over us. The end result of Solomon looking at life from an entirely human perspective without seeing God's hand in the circumstances is a profound pessimism. Let us read verses 3 and 4 of chapter 4. Yea, better is he than both they, who has not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Again, I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied by his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Solomon concludes in verse 3 that the unborn are in a better state than the living, who have witnessed and tasted all the evil that is so prevalent on this earth. Here is an interesting question. Can Solomon's statement in verse 3 be construed to imply that Solomon believes in the personhood of the unborn? To answer this question, let us look a little further in this book to chapter 11 and verse 5, which states, As you do not know what is the way of the wind, nor how the bones grow in the womb of her who is with child, so you do not know the works of God who makes all. According to the science of embryology, an unborn child in the womb has developed a distinct heartbeat at 6 weeks of gestation, can hear sounds at 18 weeks, and can feel pain at 20 weeks, and therefore is a distinct human being. Here is an Old Testament book that is some 3,000 years old, and yet it is very relevant to the pressing issues of today. The next relevant topic on Solomon's list of life's inequalities is that of envy. Here in verse 4, a man, minding his own business, is doing what is right, and yet he is envied by his neighbor. Why is that? To answer this question precisely, we must first ask ourselves, what exactly is envy? I particularly liked one definition in Webster's dictionary: resentful dislike of another who has something desirable. And envy is as old and as common as the human race. Any one of us can be susceptible to the poison of envy. Cain envied Abel and wound up slaying his own brother. Esau and Jacob took turns envying each other. King Saul envied David and desperately sought to kill him. 1 Samuel 18, verses 8 and 9 records, And Saul was very angry, and he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands, and what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul watched enviously David from that day and onward. In the New Testament, Matthew 27:18 records the truth that the Pharisees envied the tremendous spiritual following that Jesus had attracted and deliberately delivered him unto Pilate to be crucified when Jesus had done nothing wrong, nothing. Solomon was genuinely troubled by the ugly existence of envy. Are we troubled by envy, or do we get pumped up practicing it?
You've been listening to Elder Bill Ewen of New Haven, and this has been Bread of Life, a program to encourage you from God's Word.